Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe. I'm a sales and marketing coach and strategist for health coaches, life coaches, and wellness professionals who want to become a leader in their field by building their online community, rocking their sales process, and finally feeling confident about how they promote themselves and their marketing. On this show, we talk about tips to grow your business, save yourself time, and finally be able to create a sustainable, profitable business. Let's get into it. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Zero to Hero Coach Program. This is my 4-month program teaching coaches and online service providers how to grow your online business, book clients consistently, overcome your sales fears, and finally rock your social media visibility. If you struggle to create a sustainable coaching business, this program is for you. Check out HaileyRowe.com and book your free strategy call with my team or myself today. Thank you. We're alive. Okay, today I have wet hair, and I apologize for that, but it was sweaty outside this morning and had to take care of that. So we're going to talk about launch strategies and marketing strategy. And we're not going to talk about it in the way that you think, because I think the perceived notion about marketing strategy is off in the coaching community. And we're going to talk about why and how I would suggest, if you're a coach trying to book clients, you would change your views on what a marketing strategy really is and how you can use a marketing strategy in your business. So if you're here live, go ahead and say hi in the comments. And if you have not already gotten clear on your niche and who you want to serve and what your elevator pitch is, you can go to HaileyRowe.com. I have a free niche marketing training and 5-star Instagram bio checklist that can help you get that taken care of. But that's a really important foundation before going into this training. So when it comes to marketing and a strategy, I talk to a lot of you who feel like, I don't really have a strategy. I feel like I'm flopping around. I feel like I'm doing a lot of different random things, and I'm not really seeing any results. And the truth is, a marketing strategy is just a collection of actions that you've put together, that you've planned, and that you are consistently doing and refining over time. And I think a lot of people get freaked out about the idea of a marketing strategy, or think that there's more to it than there actually is. And I want to let you know that you can calm down and just pick something to focus on and do it repeatedly and keep refining it until it gets you the results you want. Isn't that refreshing news? So let's talk about what that could look like. I built my coaching business to 6 figures just from talking with people consistently over time and building relationships. And yes, I did show up and do content. And yes, I did podcasts. And yes, I did, local workshops and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I was going to just tell you what I did, it was literally talking to people online. And that's it. So let's talk about how to think about this, okay? So first, when it comes to a launch strategy and marketing strategy, I give my clients a worksheet in my program that kind of talks about all your options. And it gives you the pros and cons of each, what's really required to execute each one, my warnings, my materials to support you with that launch strategy, if that's the launch strategy that you choose, and stuff like that. So it's really for my clients to empower them to feel clear about what the heck your options are, what you should focus on based on your strengths. And then from there, I coach them through that and refining it and whatnot. So just to give you, if you haven't heard my launch strategies episode on the podcast, so you can go to HaileyRowe.com/launch-strategies, and we talk about some of them there. But just to give you a list, you can be doing content marketing. You can be doing direct outreach or direct marketing. You could be, which is like talking to people. You could be doing a Facebook challenge.
You could be doing Google ads, you could be doing Google SEO, you could be doing podcasts, you could be doing guest blogging, you could be doing networking events, you could be doing Facebook ads, you could be doing organic, like, well, I kind of already covered organic with direct marketing and outreach, but so those are just some examples. And when you have all these options, coaches tend to get worked up and they tend to not pick any or pick 12 that they're trying to implement halfway all the time. And so my suggestion is, if it were me, I would pick, if you're in the beginning of your business, content marketing combined with direct outreach and connecting with people and building relationships. And building relationships is like a big branch to me, because there can be building, you could be doing podcasts, you could be doing networking group. Like there's a lot of things that could fall under that give you some variety, but also keep you moving in the direction you want to be going. So that, I'm telling you the truth, because I think so many people get so worked up about marketing strategy and they obsess over like, I have to do it over, my launch has to be a week long and I have to close the cart at the end and it's going to be all this pressure. And what if nobody shows up to my Facebook Live and da 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 da. And really, in the beginning of your business, there's attraction and showing, like, being visible to your ideal client and being more assertive. And there's like by having content and by building relationships with your audience, you have the nice combination of the two. So you're not being passive, but you're also not just relying on active marketing, right? So when you're planning what kind of marketing strategy you want to do, some of the things to reflect on are a couple things. One, what has worked in the past for you and what has not worked in the past for you, right? And it's going to be different for every client. I have clients who excel in doing like IG lives with influencers and kind of doing like partnerships. And I have clients who excel in locally, literally connecting with people there, doing workshops, stuff like that. So ask yourself what has worked for you in the past and what has not. Now, if nothing has worked for you in the past, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you in the future. It could mean that you haven't done it long enough. It could mean that you need to optimize what you're doing. It could mean that your offer itself isn't attractive to people. So of course, any marketing strategy you're going to put behind it isn't going to be good. So if you're struggling to figure out why it's not working, you can go ahead and call below on this video and we can schedule a free mini consult. But that is something really important to reflect on. What has worked and what has not, because doubling down on what has worked, refining it, consistently sticking with it is going to cause you to win. And versus giving up on it too soon, expecting immediate gratification, not looking into why it's not working, ignoring that, and just like hoping for the best is not going to work, right? The second thing is, how have you gotten clients in the, how have you gotten clients in the past? We already talked about that. Third thing is, what kind of content that you've done in the past has been the most shared, the most engaging, gotten the most indication that you're on the right track? And sometimes taking this time to reflect is going to be really helpful for you in coming up with the next steps in your business. And you want to think about what have been the most common objections or hesitations when it comes to working with you, because when you're choosing a marketing strategy, you have to make it appealing to your audience. So if they don't have time, long videos are not going to be your audience's favorite thing, right? If they have money issues, maybe you need to be putting out in your marketing strategy more emphasis on how the ROI is there and what the ROI is, and more, they need to see more social proof or whatever. So their hesitations and putting yourself in your customer's head is really going to be helpful in determining what marketing strategy you should choose and how you should speak with them and how you present your content and show up in your content and marketing. Because again, some of them, they might not have time, or that they need something that is budget friendly, or you need to communicate why your offer is worth the price, that kind of thing. The other thing is determine your options. So just like I talked about before, how I give my clients a list of all their options and pretty much pros and cons, and it's like a little mini launch encyclopedia. The thing that you want to think about is pick one or two to stick with for 30 to 90 days. Okay. And I'd say 90 days is a better idea before quitting something. Because if you haven't heard, in marketing, having realistic expectations about having a test period is going to be really important. And I'm working with doing ads and getting those ready. And I'm expecting a full 3 months of testing and refining and figuring out what works. And I know that it might not pay off in the first 1 or 2 months. And I have that realistic expectation. And then I know I'll start to break even, and then I'll know I'll start to be profitable. So if you're going to pick a marketing strategy, you have to go in knowing that it will pay off if you stick with it long enough and optimize and refine it. Now, it won't work if you give up, or if you keep doing the same thing over and over again after 90 days, showing that it's given no positive indication of working. Then you're going to, obviously, you want to quit that. And the other thing is you have to execute your plan. Like, so often I think the reason why people struggle with marketing strategy is not even because of the strategy. It's because they start really strong, they're really consistent with it, and then they don't see immediate gratification and they don't keep doing it. And then of course it doesn't work, right? Or they're afraid of feeling rejection from it, or they get one no, so they think, oh my God, I gotta stop, and they reject themselves and their marketing strategy before anybody else can, right? So these being a strategic person means being patient. It means looking and evaluating what's working and what's not. It means sticking and constraining to one or two major strategies. The more, the better if you have the time, but being realistic with yourself. If you only have 2 hours a day to work on your business, don't compare yourself to somebody who's doing 40 hours a week in many different marketing strategies, right? Because they built that over time. They've mastered one and they keep adding and adding and adding and adding, and it keeps compounding and compounding. And the other thing is, know the value of compounding. And what I mean by that is, I have people I talked to 3 years ago, never signed up for anything, been sitting on my email list, and then they sign up for coaching. Or they heard me on a podcast 2 years ago, and then they sign up for a discovery call, right? So know the value of compounding, just like investing, how if you put money into like a mutual fund or something, there's going to be ups and downs, right? But over time, you yield dividends, right? It's the same thing in your business. So honestly, one of the hardest parts about picking a marketing strategy and sticking to it is mastering your mind on the way, because it is going to require patience of you. It's going to require looking at things you probably don't want to look at and refine, because it gets tedious and stuff like that. So being a mental warrior on the journey is going to be really important. And when you do something, always ask yourself, what went well about this? What didn't work about this? What hasn't worked yet about this? And, what did you learn about it? Because you cannot fail if you keep learning from each step of the way. So this is something that I really wanted to point out, because I know that so many of you feel like this marketing strategy thing, you're expecting like a 20-page step-by-step thing, and you're requiring that for you to feel like confident in moving forward in your business. And I want to let you know that life and business doesn't work like that. You have to decide on something, get your bullet points, get yourself like a minimum viable product, get yourself moving forward, start committing to it, and decide what those boundaries are going to look like. How long are you going to commit to it every day? How long are you going to test it? When are you setting up aside that time to reflect on it? And do it, and reap the rewards over time. But don't get this idea in your head that's going to hold you back in your business because you think the marketing strategy needs to be this 20-page Google Doc with every step-by-step of the way with 12 different strategies and, yada, yada, yada. Ditch all of your preconceived notions about how a marketing strategy needs to look and work. And then you open yourself up to possibilities and opportunities that you can milk and follow through on. Because if you block yourself off and you're thinking, I'm waiting until I get like a, this very formal business plan that doesn't make sense to me, I'm feeling overwhelmed just looking at it. That's a way to set yourself up for failure, right? So those are some tips. If you struggle with this, again, go ahead and call below for a free mini consult, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And if you liked it and want to reserve your very own free sales audit, go to haileyrowe.com/strategy-call to book your very own free sales audit. On the call, we'll talk more about the common concerns you get from your ideal clients, how to overcome those concerns, how to coach through objections, how to change your mindset around sales, and improve your sales process so you can be closing and converting more clients. I can't wait to connect with you, and go to haileyrowe.com/strategy-call to take the first step. Thanks so much. Have a good day.